So let's get started. Let's actually get started on hands and knees rather than a seat today. I'll sit up just like this. So yeah, we'll start in hands and knees. And you can place your hands right underneath your shoulders, knees right underneath your hips. And see if you can spread your fingers a little bit wider apart just to grip the ground a little bit better. And then when you're ready, you come right into cow pose. So start to drop the belly down, thinking about lifting the tailbone and then maybe looking forward or sending your chin slightly forward. That visual is sometimes nice to open the chest a little more. And then as you exhale, round into cat pose. Now I want you to stay there, maybe even look in between your knees. And then start to maybe find lateral movement side to side here. So you can start to feel those lower back, mid back muscles stretch a little bit more as you move the spine right to left, but still rounding in the upper back. And then come back to neutral, tabletop pose. Send your right leg behind you, about hip height, just enough to then twirl the ankle both directions, fan out the toes. And then you can get a stretch in the back of the leg, tuck the toes under onto the ground and press back through your heel. And then you'll spin that heel down, reach the right arm up. So you just open up to the right here. And then keep reaching up towards the sky. Open your palm nice and wide here, your right palm. And then start to bend your right elbow. Think about like a half, like a V, right? Like half of a W here. And then think about looking up towards the ceiling. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you start to rotate that right shoulder open a bit more, letting your right arm almost fall a little further back behind you. Now you might not even move too much here. Just a slight rotation of the spine can allow that pec muscle to open up. If you want, maybe extend the arm again. Feel a different stretch. And then reach the right hand back forward. Come back to tabletop pose. Drop the belly and lift the chest. Find cow pose on an inhale. And then exhale, round the spine, cat pose. So give your wrists a break. You can walk your hands up your knees. Just rise up onto your knees here. Your hands up your thighs, rather. And then step your right foot forward. So you're just coming into a lunge here. Now press your right hand into your right thigh, just for stability here. And maybe even think about your right big toe pressing into the ground as well. Reach your left hand up to the sky. Big breath in. And then think about leaning your torso over to the right. So you can then start to find length through the left side of your body. And start to reach your left hand back up, rise up. And bring both hands inside your right foot. Tuck your back toes and lift the knee up. And just start to look over to the left. Trace your hands along the long edge of your mat and frame your feet, right? So just parallel your feet. And then you can bend your knees to drop your head down and maybe shake your head yes. But no, let gravity do a little bit of work. So nice. And then go back to that lunge. So you're going to frame that right foot, drop the left knee down, keep the left hand where it is. Now reach the right hand up to the sky. So now you twist and just open up a bit more. You might feel a little stretch in the right hip. You can move that right foot to where it feels good. And then reach the right hand back forward, down to the ground. And then you'll just pick that right foot up, swing it back behind you, tabletop pose. Breath in to find cow pose. Breath out to find cat. And start to walk your hands up your legs, your knees, your thighs, And then stay on your knees here, but reach your hands straight forward. Palms facing one another. Take a breath in to then open the arms wide apart here. So almost like a T. And then maybe think about sending your hands a little further back behind you. Maybe lift your chin. Take a breath in right here. And then wrap your right arm on top of the left. Give yourself a little bit of a hug here. And then inhale again, open the arms wide apart. Maybe the back of the hands go further back. You can lift your chin. And then it's left arm on top of the right. Giving yourself that hug. Now open the arms wide. One more thing here. I'm going to open the arms wide just like a T, right? Now start to turn your palms behind you. Your thumbs will point down. Now just bend at the elbows and place one hand on top of the other, one palm on top of the other on your low back. Now this is a nice place to get that open stretch. So start to send your elbows back, shoulders back. Maybe lift your chin, lift your face. And then look straight ahead, tabletop pose. Any movement that feels good here. Maybe it's that side to side, maybe it's cat cow. And you'll send your left leg behind you. Roll the ankle in both directions. And you'll tuck the left toes onto the ground, press the left heel back. You'll spin the heel down, and this time it's the left arm that reaches up to the sky. And if you want, you can start to then bend the elbow a bit to start. And then start to look up towards the ceiling. Maybe your left shoulder then follows and almost just like opens up behind you a little bit more. You could stay here, maybe extend the arm for something different. One more big breath in to reach your left fingertips forward. And then come back to tabletop pose. Breath in to find cow pose. Breath out to find cat. Now again, one last time, walk your hands up your thighs. Step your left foot forward this time. And this time your left hand will press down into your thigh, reach your right fingertips up to the sky. So really, really reach, get really long through the right side, and then tip your torso over to the left. So you create this long line from your right knee out through your right hand. And one more big breath in to reach back up. Both hands come down inside the left foot. You get to tuck the back toes, lift the knee. Now trace the long edge of your mat, parallel your feet, and then fold forward. Or start to find that side to side motion, like a side lunge, just bending one knee at a time, if that feels good. Or just let your head drop. Whatever feels better for you. And then look to your left foot. You'll frame it again with your hands to just drop the right knee down. Now it's your left hand that will reach up to the sky. We'll open arm twist here. Take one more big breath in. You can reach the left hand forward. Let it come back to the ground. Tabletop pose. A breath in to find cow. Breath out to find cat. Take your knees a little bit wider apart. Maybe bring your big toes towards one another, and then you can pull your seat back, drop into just a supported child's pose. I like to even bring one hand on top of the other as a pillow for my forehead. Or, of course, you can stretch the arms long in front of you and stay here. Just take a few moments to pause for 3, 2, big deep breath. Last one. And you can slowly come forward, but swing your legs around in front of you. You can bring the soles of your feet together. Your knees can come out wide. You can grab your ankles or your shins as you sit up nice and tall on an inhale. And then stay here or start to think about your heart going beyond your toes, just to tilt your torso a bit. And then you can stay here if you want. You can start to maybe look down a bit or look right in front of your toes. So, not totally rounding forward here. Think about the chest or the sternum moving forward instead. Take one more breath in and out. Excellent. And you'll sit up. Make sure you have enough space behind you, but you'll slowly start to come onto your back. Maybe even find a long body stretch here, pointing your toes forward, reaching above your head. And take your arms down along your sides and bend your knees. Plant your feet just a little bit wider than your hips. So you might heel to your feet a little bit wider. And then take your arms out like a T, palms facing up towards the sky. And then let both knees start to just fall over to the right. So you have a wider stance in the legs. But maybe as you tip over to the right, you start to feel that stretch in the front of your left hip, down the front of your thigh. And then come back to center. And then you'll let both knees fall over to the left. Same idea. You'll get that nice stretch in the quads, in the hip. Just a gentle twist in the spine as well. You'll come back through center, wiggle, walk your feet back to hips with distance. And then start to bring your right knee, just hug it in for a moment. Create that figure 4 cross. So we're going to take one more twist here, but add in a little bit of outer hips, right, rather than the front. And so you create that figure 4 cross. Keep that structure in the legs. Take your arms out wide here. And then just tip tip that lower part of your body over to the left. So the sole of your right foot might even meet the ground. And then think about your right fingertips here as they reach away from you. And you may not feel this like super active stretching here, but you're still opening through that right shoulder. And one more big inhale and exhale. And you'll come back through center. You'll unravel the legs, hug the left knee in, find that figure 4 cross, arms back out wide like a T. And now you get to tip that whole structure and your lower body over to the right. And then feel the weight of your left hip just become a little bit heavier, like almost like you were pulling it a little bit further down towards the ground, but keeping that left foot on the earth just to get that deeper stretch in the hip if it feels good. And let your left shoulder Become a little bit heavier towards the ground as well. You'll make your way back through center, unravel the legs. Now heel toe your feet just a little bit wider apart and then knock your knees together. So after all of that work, you could find just a little bit of internal rotation. You can keep your arms wide here if that feels good, just like that opportunity to open through the chest. Or if you'd like a little bit more heart opening, if you have a pillow nearby, another option to get that chest opening would be to roll off to the side, sit up nice and easy, slide a pillow back behind you, and then you can lie back on it to keep your heart a little elevated here. You can reach your hands up and then open the arms wide. So it's like you're lying down on the ground in the same position, but your chest is elevated here. So you get a little bit more of a stretch across the shoulders. You may close the eyes and take a big breath in, maybe even a sigh out, nice and slow. Let's take this moment to just relax your toes, soften the fingers, soften the face. Maybe with every exhale, you feel the back of your heart here, your upper back, sink a little bit more, either towards the ground or into that support underneath you, whether it's a pillow or a bolster. If that sensation is just a little bit too much of a stretch across the pec, think about then bringing your arms a little bit closer towards your sides or bending the elbows, bringing them in closer towards you. Here for just a little bit longer. So allow yourself to rest in a place where your heart feels a little more open, maybe even the front of your throat feels a little more open as well. And a little more ease with every breath. And then allow your next breath in to be just a little bit bigger. And the breath out to be just a little bit longer. Continue to build the breath back up just a little bit more, nice and slow. And then just slowly rock your head gently side to side. And keeping your knees bent, roll to the side of your choice. You can roll off of that pillow if you've had it, and then just press yourself up to a seat. Whether you sit up on that pillow or just sit on your mat. See if you can sit up just a little bit taller and then take a few shoulder rolls. So, shrugging your shoulders up, forward, and then up and back. And maybe taking your own sort of movement here, whatever feels good. Maybe it's bringing the head and the neck into that movement as well. Again, take a breath in to sit up nice and tall. Open up your mouth, slow exhale out. And just gently bring your hands together in front of your heart. Think about your sternum lifting towards your thumb. Sitting here or bowing your chin, your face towards that space. Just honoring yourself for making the time in your day to then make a little more space or create a little more space in your body, a little more space in your mind. And maybe hear you set an intention of some sort for the rest of your day, for the rest of your week, maybe choosing what you fill that space up with, whether it's breath, patience, kindness, ease. Just bring that word to your mind. Take a breath in and out. And take your thumb tips and even up to the center of your forehead. Maybe lift your chin, lift your face. Namaste.